So I wasn't planning on doing this video per se, but I have indeed watched the new Star Wars film, Star Wars The Force Awakens, on the day it came out in the UK, and I watched it late at night because that was the only time I could get to watch it. And I hesitated in bringing out a rambly video about what I thought about it because, well, I'm not really qualified to say anything about it. I'm not a massive Star Wars fan, and currently I'm very intoxicated with whiskey. So I thought, well, obviously I'm not intoxicated with whiskey all the time. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not really someone who really should give an opinion of the film overall because I'm not a massive Star Wars fan. Where there's so many people on the internet who have given their opinion, have said what they thought about the film, and generally have praised the film and said it was really, really good. But after a while, I don't know, I thought, well, maybe it's the whiskey talking, or maybe it's just me. I actually do want to say something about the film because, well, why not? Everyone else is talking about it. Why can't I? But at the same time, I recognise that my opinion doesn't really mean much, so, take it with a pinch of salt. I would personally go with the opinions of people who do love the Star Wars films and the Star Wars universe because they're better qualified in basically giving an overall opinion of the film and what they think was good and what they thought was bad. However, a lot of people have praised the same points about the film that I personally disagree with. Hence why I want to do this as well, really. It's just really just sort of not only giving my own 2 cents on the film, but also commenting on what people think are good when personally I think it wasn't very good, if you know what I mean. Not for the sake of being different, just I didn't really find it that good, if you know what I mean. So yeah, so let's begin with the overall film. What did I think of the film overall? Well, I actually quite liked it overall. I thought it was a good film. It wasn't great per se, nor was it a perfect film, but it was a good film. I enjoyed it. My attention was kept from start to finish. I didn't get overly bored, although I have to be honest, towards the end of the film I was starting to get a bit bored of it, but it was late at night, so maybe my attention span was lacking because I was tired, but hey, I wasn't so riveted as I was at the beginning of the film. But overall I thought, yeah, the film was good. It was much better than the prequels. That's episodes 1, 2 and 3, so I was happy about that. And I believe for what it was trying to do, or at least what this film was trying to accomplish, it did accomplish it. In that I believe that the film was basically trying to say, look, I'm not the prequel. I am a proper sequel, and I've learned all my mistakes from the prequels, and this is how it's going to be. This is what you want as a Star Wars film fan. And they definitely ticked a lot of those boxes. So I believe the film knew what it wanted to be and succeeded in what it wanted to be. Overall, I mean, there was still a couple of nitpicks here and there, but overall I thought, no, this film definitely knows what it wants to be and overall succeeded. So that's good. And I enjoyed it. I really did. I didn't come out thinking, oh, it was terrible. I came out and thought, yeah, it was alright. That was alright film. It was good. That was basically my honest opinion. So that's my overall opinion on it. Now, what did I find good about the film and what did I find not so good about the film? Well, I have to be honest, the first hour of the movie, the first part of the movie was really, really good. I enjoyed the first hour of the film. It was pacey, it set the scene well, the characters were good, the actors and actresses who played their characters were very good. And especially the new cast, specifically the actor who plays Finn. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but throughout the film and especially at the beginning, I really liked the actor who played Finn. I thought Finn's character was very, very good. Not original and a little bit cliched here and there, but overall I really enjoyed his character. Throughout the whole film, I really did resonate with him. I was able to attach myself to him and sort of relate to him, that's the word, in a way where I thought, yeah, I like this character, he's a good character. And I was a bit worried because I thought overall the main leads of the film I thought were only cast to be PC friendly, politically correct, in that the main character of the film is a female character. Nothing wrong with that. She's a strong female character, can't take that away from her. But given the current situation in society and the times we live in, at least in the Western world, the film felt very PC. And I was worried that the main actors for the main parts of the film, the new ones, that is, Finn and Ren, that be the female lead, Daisy I forget her name, I apologise, I can't remember off the top of my head, but the main new casts of the film, the main new characters, I thought were cast purely to be PC friendly, you know, to be with the times of society, with the political correctness, etc., etc. And there are hints of that in the film, but I thought overall, actually, they played really good characters to the point where I forgot about all that and was able to enjoy them for who they were, essential characters to the film, which is good. So the female lead and the male lead, so that's Finn and Ray, those are the characters of the film. Finn is the male, the black guy, and Ray is the female white lead. Overall, I thought they were good, but I really liked Finn. I thought Finn was a good character. Ray, on the other hand, played by, I think her name is Daisy Ridley. I'm not 100% sure on that. A lot of people have commented that she is the best part of the film, and as a main character, she really is relatable and a fantastic character in the film, and her performance is strong and really should be recommended and commended. I personally don't agree with that. I thought her performance in the first hour was good, really good. But then she sort of succumbs to cliche, and she becomes actually contradictory in that in the first hour of the film she really does come across as a strong female character, and in a good way. You know, it's convincing, it matches her personality, her character, and I thought, yeah, I like this character, she's actually really good. I can't wait to see how she develops in the film. But after the first hour she succumbs to the old cliche type of thing, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I thought she lost her strength, she lost her charisma a bit, and she lost her way of things. Now I understand she's realizing in the film who she is, and she's realizing her role in the whole universe and realizing who she really is, so of course she's going to have her moments of weakness, and that is played well, but I believe it could have been done better. It could have been done where she struggled with it but still came across as a strong character, and I thought she sort of succumbs to the old cliched ways of dealing with a new situation or a new realization. But overall I thought, yeah, she's alright. I don't hate her, nor do I dislike her. I'm looking forward to seeing her in the next film. But out of the two new leads, Finn and Ray, I thought Finn was the better character. But then again, his character was written differently. He's not the main lead, he's a supporting character, but I thought he was done better. That's all. But I didn't dislike Ray at all, or Daisy. I didn't dislike her character at all. It's just I thought she started off well and then succumbed to cliched. Bleh. But hey, you know, I'm being very nitpicky here. Everybody else seems to think she's great. Fair enough. I'm not taking that away from her. But personally, I wasn't too impressed with her in the second half. But considering the film and the plot and all that, I suppose it works. I just thought it could have been done a bit better. That's all. But anyway, that's just me. So there's that. The old cast being Harrison Ford as Han Solo, Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia, and Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker. I thought Han Solo, or Harrison Ford, was really good in this film. I think he really was, out of the old cast, the other star of the film. His character was fantastic. For someone who's been away from the Star Wars franchise for over 30 years, he really fit into the role well. And he did a much better performance of Han Solo than he did as Indiana Jones in the new Indiana Jones film, The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I think in this role as Han Solo, he did a much better performance. He really gave it his all, and I loved him. Every time he was on screen, I loved him as a character. You know, I just thought, no, you really are going back as Han Solo. He, as an older Han Solo, mind you, but he really did steal the show. And I liked him. So Harrison Ford really did, I believe, gave it his all as Han Solo in this film. He was really good. Carrie Fisher, on the other hand, really gave a lackluster performance. However, you know, her role in the film is quite minor, but important, but minor. So maybe it was the script's fault, but it was still nice to see her, but she didn't really have a significant part in the film. So I was a bit disappointed with that. So yeah, I mean, it could have been better. I mean, Chewbacca was actually good, but Chewbacca's Chewbacca, you know. But it was nice to see Chewbacca again with Han Solo. But the whole Luke Skywalker revelation, I was really disappointed with. I was really hoping that he was the bad guy in this film. I watched the Game Theory's video on how they predicted that Luke Skywalker would be Kylo Ren in disguise, or at least part of the Dark Force. He'd succumb to the dark side. And I was really hoping that would be true, because I thought that would be really good. If you can pull that off, that would be a fantastic twist. Okay, it's cliched the Star Wars A New Hope, but I thought, no, that would be really good. But no, they played it safe. He didn't appear in the film to the very end, and he didn't say anything. He didn't have any part really in the film apart from the end. So I can't say much because he wasn't in it that much, nor did he really play a vital role in the film. So I can't criticise him. But having said that, I was disappointed that they didn't make better use of him. But hey, he's set up for episode 8, so we'll see where he goes from there. But I was really hoping he was the bad guy. And speaking of the bad guy, I mean, the new bad guy, Kylo Ren, who turns out to be Han Solo's son. Well, Han Solo and Princess Leia's son. At first, he's really good. When he's wearing the Kylo Ren costume, or the Kylo Ren character disguise, whatever you want to call it, the outfit, he's really good. I was really impressed with him. He's really quite scary and quite upfront, and he's strong, as a dark side Jedi character, or a bad character in a way, the bad guy. He was really good. But when it was revealed that he was the son of Han Solo and Princess Leia, he just turned into a bit of a whiny brat and came across as a stroppy teenager. And I suppose in a way it matches what he was meant to be in the film, like it satisfied his role in the film. So I can't fault the actor, per se, Adam Driver, for playing the part and doing it as for the part itself, for what he had to do to convey Kylo Ren and as a character. He did his bit and he did it well. I'm more disappointed in the writing and the direction of the character. I thought he could have been more badass, that's all, and not this teenager whinery sort of, I'm all about the dark side, I'm having conflict, I'm part dark, part light, blah blah blah. I get it, but it was done really cliched wise. It wasn't very convincing. So I got a bit disappointed with him in the second half of the film. Like I said, the first half of the film is really good. The first hour is really good, but the second part, it drags a bit, and I just didn't find it as convincing. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't as good. That's all. I started to feel like the film was dragging a bit, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, the bad guy, Kylo Ren, overall, he's good, and he does his part well. Again, I just wish they'd done more with it, like he was really with the dark side, rather than having this conflict of him, struggling with the fact that he's trying to go to the dark side, but a part of the light side, or the good side, is with him, and he's struggling with it. He can't commit himself fully to the dark side. And when he reveals that he's Han Solo's son, there's a scene in the film where Han Solo and Kylo Ren meet, and it's on this cliched bridge bit. And in that part of the film, probably the biggest impactful moment of the film happens, and I might as well spoil it because, well, I've spoiled things already. Han Solo dies in the film, and Kylo Ren, the son of Han Solo, kills him. It was done quite well. I saw it coming. As soon as you see the scene set up, you're like, oh, I know what's going to happen. So you can predict it, but it was done well. I enjoyed it, and I was really shocked. And I thought, no, you can't do that. That's so mean. But they do it, and they carry on. They carry it through, and it was really good. So I get the character arc of Kylo Ren and the character development, but I was a bit disappointed that he turned into this whiny sort of young, struggling teenager type of character. But I suppose, considering what he was trying to be and what he's meant to be in the film, it works. But I was a bit disappointed. I was hoping to be full on evil, and the whole mystery of the film is why he's turned full on evil, and really go for it. But they don't. They kind of make him struggle, and I can understand it. It's more relatable to a lot of people, or the majority of people. But to me, I was like, no, I'm not interested in that. I want to see you go full evil, and I want to know why. But I also want to keep it a mystery. Give me some hints, give me some leads, but still, I'm that sort of, why are you so dark? What happened? Lead it on to episode 8, where the revelation could have happened in episode 8, and then episode 9, blah, 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 blah. Yes, it's rehashing episodes 4, 5, and 6, but the whole film, really, that is The Force Awakens, is a rehash of A New Hope. It pretty much is A New Hope. Not word for word, per se, but overall, it really is a rehash of that film. That's not a bad thing, but I suppose in a way, when you think about it, what else could they have done? I'm sure there's lots of ideas that they could have chased, but overall I thought, yeah, it is a rehash of A New Hope, but it's a good rehash, it's not disappointing at all. Like I said, it's much better than the prequels, so I can't fault them for that. They just wanted to play it safe and give a film that the fans wanted, and I really feel that they did that. So fair enough. But anyway, I'm going off track. So there's that. So yeah, I mean, overall, I thought the film was good. I really liked it. The action scenes are well done. A little bit different from the old Star Wars films, but that's because the director is J.J. Abrams. He did it his way, and I like J.J. Abrams' films for the most part. I love the new Star Trek films, I really do. And again, I'm not a Star Trek fan, so again, my opinion on me loving the Star Trek films is not so weighted, of course not. But when I watched them in the cinemas, I enjoyed them. So I think J.J. Abrams did it his way in terms of the action sequences, and they're good fun. They're really good fun. I didn't dislike them at all. They're pacey, they're well shot. The editing could have been a little bit better, but overall I thought, no, I got the action, it was good. So J.J. Abrams as a director in this film, he did a good job, and he put his own spin on it, which I was expecting him to do, and it worked for the most part. So that was good. The overall plot of the film, like I said, it kind of mimics A New Hope, but not in the same depth. Like the bad guys in this film, I can't remember what they're called now, but they're not the Empire. They're like the Galactic Republic, and you've got the Resistance. I think that's what they're called. So the Galactic Republic is the equivalent of the Empire in the original Star Wars films, and the Resistance is known as the Rebel Alliance or whatever. They come across as pretty good. The bad guys, the Galactic Alliance or whatever they're called. They come across as a good bad guy, and they have this new Death Star type planet, where in the original films they had the Death Star, which was a whole man-built sort of planet-sized or planetized spacecraft that had that big laser on it. In this film, they have a new Death Star like thing, but it's much bigger than the original Death Star. They've actually converted an actual planet into a Death Star type thing, and it's really cool. But you can't help but just think, really, you're going with the Death Star thing again, after it failed the first two times? But it's a bit weird, and it's not very well explained as to why they've done that. Also, it's not explained as to why they've become the Galactic Republic and the Rebel Alliance has become the Resistance. Like, what happened after Episode 6? Did it not work out? What's this whole Resistance and Galactic Republic thing all about? The politics of the film and the politics of the universe is not really explained very well. So you can keep up with it, but at the same time you're like, where did you come from? This is 30 years on from Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. How did this all come to be? Why are you called this? Why is there a resistance? Why is the resistance made up of the people who made the Rebel Alliance? Didn't they not win in Episode 6, Return of the Jedi? What happened? It's not very well explained. So, in terms of the politics, that's the one thing that the prequels had over this film. In that, okay, the prequels are boring for the most part and really badly done, but at least in terms of the universe, the films had a grand sense of scale. And the politics was explained, albeit badly, but it was explained. In this film, the politics isn't. And I think the biggest fault with this film, Force Awakens, that is that it doesn't feel as epic as the original films. Now, of course, how could it feel as epic as the original films? It's got to live up to such a large legacy. It did a good job of it, don't get me wrong. But when you're watching the film is a very focused film. It doesn't focus on the world. It doesn't focus on... Well, I say the world. It doesn't focus on the Star Wars world, per se. There are scene shots and scenic shots of the Star Wars world, of course. But they're not as epic as the original films, and especially the prequels. They're very focused. They're very short-sighted in a way. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because if it's focused, then at least you don't need to pay attention to all the stuff that's happening in the background. You pay attention to what the film wants you to pay attention to. And that's a good thing. But I feel that this film could have had a few establishing shots where the worlds that the characters go and visit or go to and travel to could have been more epic than they were. It's a very focused film. So you don't really get that sort of epic sense of, I'm in a completely different galaxy, in a completely different universe. This is epic. It doesn't have that, which is a bit disappointing. But at the same time, it was a good story. So, you have to sacrifice one thing for another. I get what they were trying to do. So I can't fault the film for it, but I was hoping that it would be a bit more epic in terms of the universe and the places that you go and see in the film, they would be presented in a grander scale, a bigger scale. But hey, that's just a nitpick, really. So there's that, and I think really that's all I need to say. I don't think there's anything else per se, really. I mean, overall, again, it was a good film. There are some moments in it where it could have been done better, but no, I wouldn't say don't go and see it at the cinema. If you haven't seen it yet, or if you have seen it, go and see it in the cinema still while it's out there. Go and see it. And I'd love to have seen it in 3D. I didn't see it in 3D. I saw it in 2D, which was fine, but I really wanted to see this film in 3D because the trailer for the film in 3D was epic. The 3D in it was superb. So I'm hoping that the 3D version of the film is just as epic as it was in the trailer. I think that would be a hell of an experience to go and watch. So I would recommend, if you can stomach 3D, that is, go and see it in 3D. But other than that, it's a good film. I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to episode 8. I really am. But yeah, the bad guy wasn't so good in terms of Kylo Ren. He was good to begin with, but he ended up becoming a whiny teenager. The ultimate bad guy, actually, thinking about it, the main bad guy, like the Emperor was in the prequels and the original films. The main bad guy in this film is really weird. He's not actually there in the film. He's like this hologrammatic projection of said bad guy, and he's like super size, compared to everybody else. He's like really huge, like a giant size thing, and you think, oh, fair enough, but he looks really boring, like a golem, so to speak, in a way. Doesn't speak like him, but he doesn't look very threatening or very intimidating compared to the Emperor, the main bad guy of the film, or the person behind the scenes of the dark side, the person behind the scenes of the Galactic Republic, or whatever. He isn't very scary. He's not moany or anything, but he's a bit meh. I wouldn't be intimidated by him per se. But then again, we've got episode 8 to really show him off, so we'll see. But first impressions goes, he wasn't that scary. He was a bit meh. So that was disappointing, but not in a way where it really put you off the film, but you kind of would just think could have been a bit better, but again, it's living up to the legacy of the original film, so they did what they could. So yeah, but yeah, overall I thought, for what it was, this is a good film. Go and watch it if you haven't. Even if you're not a Star Wars fan, go and watch it. And I'm looking forward to episode 8. I really am. I don't think episode 8 and 9 is going to be as good as this film. And that's the main thing I'm worried about, is how episode 8 and 9 is going to go. I personally believe episodes 8 and 9 is going to be okay. Definitely not as bad as the prequels, but they're definitely going to decline in quality. Because J.J. Abrams isn't directing the next 2 films. He's only directing this one. He is going to be a writer and a producer of episode 8. I don't know what role he's going to play in episode 9, if he has one at all. But there you go. I suppose the other thing I want to comment on, thinking about it, is the lightsaber duels in this film. There's one really good one with Finn, who gets hold of... Oh, that's it. Yeah, the one thing I want to close on, actually, and this is a bit of a nitpick. Throughout the film, it's hinted at that Ren, the main female character, she has the Force. That's established. But it's hinted at that she's somehow connected to Luke Skywalker. Now, it doesn't particularly say directly how she's connected to Luke Skywalker. Some people are hinting she's the daughter of Luke Skywalker or whatever. Maybe. Don't know. But the connection that is established is when, in the middle of the film, they go to this canteen. They try to replicate the canteen scene from A New Hope. It's not done terrifically well, but it's not bad either. Again, it just doesn't have that epic sense of, oh, cool, this is a really cool, interesting scene. It's kind of downplayed a bit. It's not bad, but whatever. But there's a moment in the film where she's at this canteen with Han Solo and Finn, and I don't know, she goes off wandering around, and she ends up going down some stairs leading to the basement. And in that scene, she goes down to the basement, she goes down the corridor, and then she goes into a room where there's a chest in the room, and she notices the chest, and it's calling to her. There's voices and stuff going on in her head. It calls to her, and she goes to the chest, she opens it up, and inside the chest is apparently the lightsaber that Luke Skywalker wielded, that was his father's lightsaber. In other words, it was Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber, which was interesting. And you're like, oh, okay, fair enough. Kind of mystique, kind of weird, but whatever's. And then she has this really trippy moment where she has all these visions and stuff that's kind of been haunting her. Like her nightmares have been personified in these weird visions. I won't go into too much detail, but it's kind of cool. But it's hinted at that she's somehow connected to Luke Skywalker, or at the very least, she's hinted at she's got the Force, she's a Jedi. Cool beans. But the thing I want to nitpick at is, like I said, the lightsaber duels overall in this film, they're kind of thrown in for the sake of it. There's one really good one where Finn, sort of in the second half of the film, there's this big battle at the canteen. And it all goes to pot. And Finn somehow gets hold of this lightsaber. He's looking for a weapon. He hasn't got one. And he gets hold of the lightsaber and he just turns it on. And he tries to use it as a weapon. That's really well done. To the point where it's really funny. But Finn, as far as I'm aware, doesn't have any Force powers. Or if he does, it's not recognised per se. But it's really well done. It's really cool how he's trying to use it. He wants a blaster. He's always looking out for a blaster. Because Finn's character was originally a stormtrooper, and he's mentioned at the beginning of the film, but he's a stormtrooper gone rogue. He somehow breaks out of the stormtrooper pattern of actions, and that he's not, his brainwashing of being a stormtrooper somehow wears off, and he's aware of his actions and he doesn't like it, but he's familiar with the blaster. So he's looking for a blaster and he can't get one, and all he has is the lightsaber. I don't know how he comes across it, I can't remember. But he has to use it to defend himself. That was really well done. And at the end of the film, there's a lightsaber duel, and Finn takes part in it, and he has Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. And as far as I'm aware, like I said, he's not a Jedi, or he has the Force, but he has to stand up to the bad guy, this Kylo Ren character, Han Solo's son. He has to fight him for a bit. That was really well done. I enjoyed that, and I thought it was a nice little touch. Other than that, though, when Ren gets hold of the lightsaber and realises that she can use it better than Finn can and blah, 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 I don't know, it wasn't as epic as when Obi-Wan in Episode 4, A New Hope, fought Darth Vader and then whatever. It wasn't as epic. However, it was better coordinated. So, in the older films, it felt like they were just bashing sticks together. At least in this film, it felt like there was a little bit of sword combat involved with the lightsabers. It felt a bit more realistic, but it didn't have that same epic sense. But then again, maybe that's because we're used to it and it just couldn't pull it off. I don't know. So I just thought it was a bit tacked on, but at the same time, definitely better coordinated. It looked a bit more convincing, just wasn't as epic. But then again, that was probably the tone of the film. But when Finn had the lightsaber, it was good. I enjoyed that. But the biggest nitpick I have is that this lightsaber, that turns out to be Luke Skywalker's father's lightsaber, Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber. Didn't he lose that? Luke Skywalker, didn't he lose the lightsaber in Empire Strikes Back when Darth Vader cuts his hand off and the lightsaber falls down into the base of the ship that he's on? He never recovers it again. And in Return of the Jedi, he's built himself a new lightsaber, the green one. In The Force Awakens, the lightsaber that they get is a blue one, and it's supposed to be Anakin Skywalker's original lightsaber. How did they get that back? I thought that was lost on the ship. Where did that come from? I didn't quite understand where that came from, because I thought, well, okay, I haven't seen the original Star Wars films in a while, but I know Luke lost it. He never reclaimed that lightsaber back. So how did that ended up in a treasure chest in a canteen in the middle of wherever it was they were at? And Ren keeps it all the way, and at the very end of the film, she shows it to Luke Skywalker. Sorry, spoilers, but there you go. And you're like, okay, that's cool and all, but again, where did that lightsaber come from? I thought that was lost in an Empire Strikes Back. So I don't know. Maybe it's explained and I didn't pick it up. I don't know, but I was a bit confused by that. So that's the only major plot nitpick I have. But other than that, as a film, overall, it was good fun. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I saw it, and I can't wait for episode 8. I'm looking forward to it. It still hasn't convinced me to be a Star Wars fan or anyway, but at least I wanted to see it because it was a Star Wars film in the cinema. In the same way I wanted to go and see Indiana Jones Kingdom of the Crystal Skull when it came out in the cinema. I wanted to see an Indiana Jones film in the cinema. But at least with this film, Force Awakens, it was much better than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. That was a poor film. I was really disappointed with that. But at least with this film, I got the experience of, yeah, that was a good film. I enjoyed that. it gave me what I needed. It wasn't expertise, it wasn't great, and I thought the female lead wasn't perfect like everybody else is praising it to be, but she did do a good job. I thought the main person of the film was Finn. The actor who played Finn was good. Also BB-8, who's the droid robot that kind of is like another version of R2-D2, but funnier. The BB-8, the robot in the film, the droid in the film, he was really good as well. I really enjoyed his character. He's kind of funnier than R2-D2 and more innocent, but overall as a droid character I really liked BB-8. He's really cool, so he's well worth watching, and throughout the whole film he's got a great character, and I like how he's written and how he's played in the film. He's really good. So BB-8, the new droid character in the film, really good. But yeah, other than that, it is just a New Hope again. It literally is a New Hope plot point. It really is. There's some differences, but overall it's a New Hope. What you've seen in New Hope is what you'll see in this film, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like I said, I'm not always looking for original ideas. If it is a rehash of an old idea, as long as it's done well, I'll enjoy it. And for the most part of this film, I did. It was alright. So I'm really glad that I watched it, and it was what it was. It knew what it wanted to be. It did it well. And aside from the nitpicks I've given, it's well worth a watch. So I'm really looking forward to episode 8. And that's my 2 cents on Star Wars The Force Awakens. So I hope you enjoyed this. Sorry for it being a bit rambly. But there you go, I am the Rambler after all. What do you think of the film? Did you really like it? Did you really hate it? What bits did you like the best? Whatever, please leave your comments below. I'd love to read them and pick up on them. Like I said, I can't remember it 100% because it's been a week since I've seen it. There's probably some bits I've missed that were actually really good. Let me know. Other than that, take it easy, have a good one. I hope you're all well, and I hope to see you in another video. So, have a good one.